Greetings. Greetings.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my health just below 35% and hold it there. But I was also trying to bring the sound back up for this stream. But I remembered as soon as I brought the effects up that you get that nasty heartbeat sound that you can't get rid of. So I'm like, oh shit, I better bring that back down. But then, of course, some random mob spawns and finds me. So screw that. I need to be, yes, below 4,200 or so. Let's try this again. So the idea here is that when you have low health and you have various pieces on like this one, 40% damage reduction while injured, I forget which other one. This one, no, not that one, defeat. Yeah, so you have a combined total, and you can get it up pretty high, like over 80% even. There it is. So, the way the calculations work is, incoming damage, before anything else happens, it is checked against all these reductions. So if it qualifies, then it's reduced, and it's reduced, and it's reduced, and then I think finally, when all else is said and done, it's run by this pass. So however much it's been reduced, it has one last chance to be reduced. And this one is very powerful because it is a separate calculation. So let's say that there's 10,000 incoming damage. Now it's down to, 37.3% damage because it's been reduced by this much, or however the math works out. So now it's 3,700. Now I have a barrier up, right? And that barrier is worth a certain amount, 76.53. So when that damage hits, it knocks my barrier down to half instead of full, right? So incoming damage, reduced, then it hits the barrier. If it breaks the barrier, then it can start to count against my life. Otherwise, it just counts against the barrier, and I might have another one up by the time the next bit of damage comes in. So this is extremely tanky. it makes this build almost invulnerable, which they say is broken, but I think it's fine because it has negatives to take away from the fact that it is very powerful in that one way. Well, a couple ways, but that's the primary one. So, like, if my health were not low right now, then that incoming damage would be much higher than it is. And it might actually remove my barrier before it was removing it there. Let's wait until this goes away. Gotta time it right. The basic gist is, if you have damage reduction while injured, it pays to be injured. To take actual advantage of it at all times. But really only if you have a barrier. If you do not have a barrier, then it's not really advantageous. And this isn't that high. At 113, it's not that big a deal. But if I were doing like a 120 plus, or I think I've been up to 124 before. I haven't had a chance to get any higher because I didn't remember how this barrier thing worked until after I did those things and was dying to the stupid some occasionally. You can see that my barrier, the blue part here, barely ever moves. I mean, part of that's because I keep refreshing it so quickly, but even in those interim moments when I'm, when I've taken damage, but right before I've refreshed it, you see it doesn't go down very much, if at all. It'd be nice to get a third effect on my necklace. And I keep looking, but I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up the Envenom passive. Now, looking at this neck is terrible. It has the Envenom passive, it has cooldown reduction, and that's all that's good. I mean, the Fortified is good too, but it's not as critical. I would rather have the other one. So what I rolled away was some other dumb thing that I didn't need. It was like the first good neck piece that came along, and I really needed something with barrier and with Envenom. So I just grabbed it and quickly put it in place. And I've yet to find something that was good enough that it was worth like going to all the expense and time of, upgrading it, gemming it, re-enchanting it, and the expense that could entail, millions, potentially millions of gold, tens of millions of gold, trying to enchant it so that it was at least as good as this one. I think to the upper left, or that left passage there is the exit. I don't fully understand yet, but those bears are somehow either they just do so much damage that I'm not noticing, but what'll often happen is I'll get hit by a couple of them. Shut up. I'll get hit by a couple of them, and then I'll become immobilized, which should not happen with this build, but what that tells me is that they're doing enough damage, that they're breaking through the barrier. Like, one of them hits me, breaks through the barrier, the next one hits me within a fraction of a second, and that stuns me. And at that point, I'm unable to put up a barrier in time. So really, what has to happen is I have to reduce their damage, and hopefully this, this setup is doing that, because I don't seem to be having a problem with them as much now that I'm truly utilizing my low health in the low health build, which I wasn't for a while. Alright, I think that's it. Where if I don't hit 100 in this one, that was gonna suck. What I need is an event. Yep, looks like this one is not going to ding me one, which is really weird. Amazing. No dinging. Well, the next one. Or if there's a quick event that's up. Nope. 219. Not for another 12 minutes.
Fair trade.
So I'm really looking for rings and for neck pieces. No.
Anything else?
No.
Farewell and good fortune.
Let's do a quick and easy one real quick. Oh good, I kept my health. Below 35%. Oh, this is Ghost, isn't it? I don't think anyone likes Ghosts. I think everyone hates Ghosts. some health back. I might have a free 145. Let's get some back. This one has a little trick. I want to get up to just there. Yeah. Part of this, I'm trying to get rid of the more of the red glow around the outside of the screen. It gets more vivid the lower you go. So if I can bring it up just a little bit, then it's less annoying. I think I still get the heartbeat. I hate ghosts. Oh look, spawns behind me. So annoying. One of the interesting things about this run is that I will have reached 100 without ever seeing a Tempest Roar, which is sort of bullshit. 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 Would love to try some other builds, but all the other builds suck without the Tempest Roar. And I tried Pulverize, but it was a lot of work. It was kind of fun in some ways. Maybe this event will do it. You can see the barrier coming down when I'm over those explosions. It'd come down a lot farther without the without my health being so low. There we go. Ding. Can I be done playing now? Did I beat the game already? Am I gonna get my Tempest Roar in this run? Or is it going to be continued disappointment? I'm betting it's going to be continued disappointment. Should have gone left there. Let's do some backtracking, see what that. Really hate backtracking in these stupid dungeons. They really need to give us a roguelike where it's just one long passageway. Didn't like D2. I didn't play it when it came out, so I don't know how much like D2 this is. Maybe D2 lovers are like, oh yeah, this is awesome. But I'm a D3 player. I don't like it. I find it particularly not awesome. All this wasted time running to nothing. I'm wasting my time right now. It's really tedious. It might be fun the first, 20 times you do it when you're still in the adventure mode. But now I'm just in, I just want to get this done mode. And it's not fun. You just want to get it done. And I hate that it comes to that, but that's what happens after you play the same damn dungeon 50 times. It loses its luster. And you just want it to be one long corridor. You can wind this way and that. You can get wider and more narrow, but it needs to be one long corridor. So I don't ever have to think about where I'm going next. I just know I'm going there next, and then I will go there next. And it's always forward, never backwards. Yeah, if they added a roguelike Nightmare Dungeon, I would never, ever do these again. I would never do the ones that you can't, that you basically, where there's even remote chance of backtracking. I would never choose it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. And of course, no Tempest Roar, of course. I have no Tempest Roar, but hey, I have 5 Frostburns and 2 Penitent Greaves, 3 Butcher's Cleavers. I've crunched maybe 5 Hunter's Zenith Rings. Still no Tempest Roar. I've crunched several of the Bear Helms. I've crunched several of the Bear Chests. The ones that where, you're permanently a bear or whatever it is.
Good. What else?
Nothing. Some supreme bullshit.
Good deal. Father bless.
More bullshit.
You can take what's left.
Well, I think that's it.